Good morning. Good afternoon.
Is it morning or afternoon?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ibrahim Kroban. I'd like to seize this opportunity to welcome you to this very important press conference. This will address a series of national issues that has happened over the time, and this conference will be addressed by the Secretary General of the Unity Party, Honorable Amos Stewart, and Mr. Raval Mosio Pade, the General Media Coordinator of the Unity Party 2023 Alliance Campaign. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you, Ibrahim Kroman. Ibrahim is one of our technical lead in the Secretariat of the Unity Party. And I want to use this occasion to distinguish members of the media, each and every one of you, to a very important press conference, as Ibrahim rightly so indicated to you. Today's press conference focuses some of the issues that the Unity Party has been pointing out in the aftermath of the 2023 October 10 polls. As you well know, as a responsible political party, after the October 10 polls, the UP was able to do a post-mortem. As a result of that, we documented a whole host of irregularities that marred the October 10 polls. So on the 24th of October, the Unity Party did a communication to the National Elections Commission. It's important to give the essence of this particular press conference. And that communication basically documented some of the irregularities that marred the election. And that communication was followed by a series of action points or recommendations for the Elections Commission to begin taking in order to avert what actually occurred on October 10, so that we can have a very transparent and credible run of elections. Unfortunately, the UP letter was not responded to. On November 1, we again documented additional concerns and wrote the Elections Commission. So this time, I think about 3 to 4 pages, we CC copy our development partners, including the ECOWAS, the AU, the UN embassy, etc. So we thought it's important to bring their attention to those different issues that have marred the October 10 polls. And based on our recommendations, we thought it was necessary for the Elections Commission to begin taking appropriate steps in order to avert what actually occurred. So one of the key things that we highlighted, and we're going to be in the details, we found out that during the October 10 polls, about 6 staff working in the office of the President Pro Tem of the Liberian Senate were recruited by commissioners of the Elections Commission to serve as temporary staff of the Elections Commission. And all of them were assigned in Grand Crew, where the elections took place. And you know what that means? They are still in Grand Crew. When we did that communication to the Election Commission, we detailed their names, the different areas that serve as poll watchers, and on the basis of that, we gave a recommendation to the Election Commission. We specifically told them that those individuals should be weeded out of the next system because they contributed or participated in colluding or in ballot stuffing that specifically happened in the southeastern counties. So it's important for us to bring attention to that. When we did the communication up to this time, the Election Commission continues to tell the Unity Party, forwarded that to the Operation Department. So we believe that the slow pace with which NEC is addressing our concern is very troubling, because we want that to be appropriately addressed in order for us to participate effectively in the run of elections. In addition to that, it's also important that we let you know that we have documented attempt by the CDC to replace individuals who serve as POs, presiding officers, anchors, VROs, temporary NEC staff in Fuya and Vahon, District Number 1. almost about 25 of them have been replaced by the Elections Commission. The gentleman who served as ES, Election Supervisor, in Vahon, in the FOIA bill specifically, by a CDC loyalist. And the purpose for that is because the CDC wants to win that specific part of Lofa County. Not only the ES has been replaced, but all those who serve as POs and different, election workers, all of them have been replaced. We are going to detail the names of those individuals for the public hearing. So what we have done as a political party, a very mature political party, we've informed the Elections Commission again that they have to ensure that they take the appropriate steps in order to avoid what probably may have occurred in the October 10 polls, so that Liberians, when they go to the polls on November 14, their voices, their democratic and stand, that nobody will attempt to thwart that democratic will. So we've written the ECOWAS. It's important for us to let you know that we've sent official communication to ECOWAS and requested them to do an intervention. So at the same time, it's also important that we let you know that, of course, yesterday we had a very brief meeting with the Election Commission. There are some issues that were addressed, issues surrounding election day operations. We recommended that in order to avert some of the things on October 10, the Elections Commission needs to take appropriate steps. One of the things that the Unity Party recommended is that we, as a party, want our poll watcher to sit side by side with the Election Commission VIO, or Voter Identification Officer. And we also said to them that in order to have a transparent election, when a voter enters the polling room, that voter, consistent with section 5.4, 5.6 of the elections law, that voter should state his or her name so that our poll watchers, and it should be audible enough so that our poll watcher can examine to verify or validate whether that individual is fully captured or listed on the final registration roll, which is going to be issued to each of our poll watchers as a party. We also recommended to them that in order to enhance transparency around the elections, of course, which is a regulation as a matter of fact, promulgated by the Elections Commission themselves, the smartphone should not be prohibited in the polling room. Of course, they've cosmetically said to us that they're going to enforce that, but we got to realize, of course, the round of election, by the time, people went to the polls, some people voted, in less than no time, you saw all on Facebook, the people they voted for. We think that should not be repeated because it violates the elections regulation. So there were a host of recommendations that we forwarded to them, on Elections Day operation. Let me tell you, some of them were told that the CDC already rejected them because they have a broad grand design. And it's important to state here that for the record, the Unity Party as a party is more than ever ready or prepared to protect the votes of the citizens of this country. This is the essence of this press conference, to let you know that the UP is not going to cooperate with the Election Commission if the recommendations to weed out seditions from the next system they're not heeded to. The Unity Party is not going to cooperate with the Elections Commission. At the same time, we're looking forward to an intervention by our development partners because they pump so much resources in our elections and the country's development. I'm not sure they will be prepared to sit down here and allow anybody from whether Mr. George Weah, or any of his individuals, supporters, to undermine the integrity of the elections in 2023. It's very important. That's the essence of this press conference. I know that it's going to be followed by other questions, but let me give my colleague, Robert Monsieur Pada, who happens to be the campaign media coordinator of the 2023 campaign, to make additional comments.
Thank you very much, Amos, and gentlemen of the press, because I don't see a lady here, so I say gentlemen of the press. Let me re-emphasize and re-echo that over the last 1 week, we have said continuously that the only theory the CDC has to retain power or to seek re-election is to cheat. All right? A government has been in power for 6 years. It claimed to be popular. It claimed to serve the Liberian people very well, but we are so amazed that the only theory the government has to retain power or to seek re-election is to cheat. We like to say to the CDC and we like to say to NEC that the United Party Alliance is ready, shovel ready, to put everything in place to ensure that any attempt to rig these elections will be heavily prevented, resisted. All right? 2 days ago, election magistrate in person of Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, we have evidence to prove, very strong material evidence, that this man is compromised. We have information indicating his conversation, exchange messages with Moses calling other people, attempting to rig the election, attempting to defraud the votes in the fact. We are informed reliably, very, very, very unimpeachable sources have informed us that Saleh again is ready in this runoff to do everything to alter the numbers. He was in the Senate in Monrovia recently, meeting with CDC campaign executives for the sole purpose of getting his marching orders to go and execute his fraudulent, plot. We like to say to NEC, you have a responsibility in keeping with law, all right? To conduct elections here on the principle of fairness, transparency, accountability. That's the job you have to do. If you allow yourself, or if you choose to connive and collude, aid and abet the shenanigans and mischief of the CDC to rob the Liberian people, you will face the resistance of the Liberian people. We like to say to Sister Dereto, history is watching you keenly. The Liberian people are watching you keenly. You have a duty to serve this country and serve in the position to which you've been appointed, and to do so diligently. If you proceed out of virus, not only the history will ink you or etch you wrongly, but the Liberian people will resist. The peace of this country is very critical. You have a duty to ensure that the peace is protected. If you allow yourself to be compromised, if you allow yourself to be used by a bunch of cocoa elements, a bunch of mischievous elements, a bunch of filth men who had the opportunity to govern the country and they choose to make rule and misgovern the country and finding a way now to retain power because they are afraid to give account of the stewardship. We know they looked at the country, we know they misruled the country, we know they subjected our people to the abyss of the poverty, and poverty. We know how they looted the state resources and they must account, so they must fight at all costs, including rigging the election, including cheating. We will not tolerate that. We're pleased that our people are doing what they have to do in terms of protecting the votes, and like the campaign coordinator said very succinctly, and let me react with that we have system in place to ensure that we have all our numbers, not 100%, but at least 80 to 85%. And by 3 o'clock, we'll have our numbers, we'll know our direction, and we will release our numbers to the public. All we want our people to do, we want to encourage them to turn out massively, go and cast their votes. The United Party Alliance is ready. We are prepared. We have all the implements in place, methodology in place to ensure that we protect our votes and get our count ready, and we'll release that. Let me also talk shortly about our RT, expert who was unlawfully arrested in the Southeast in River G. Mr. Somson Issing. Now, let me put this in context. The man is not in this country unlawfully. In keeping with the ECOWAS Free Travel Treaty, every ECOWAS citizen has the right to freely travel in another ECOWAS country, and the law says you can be there as long as 90 days, meaning 3 months. All right? Secondly, He was doing nothing wrong, so there is no legal basis. What the CDC is doing upon the instruction of Mr. Weah is to intimidate our party official, our personnel, all right, that are moving here and there to put this in proper perspective so that we are fully ready to protect our votes. We'd like to say to Mr. Weah, all of your people to release the man, and what you're doing is unlawful. And this again confirms, all right, the assertion of Ambassador Mark Turner, that the U.S. government have made significant progress in this country, but due to rampant corruption and lawlessness on the part of this government, the progress continues to be eroded. Let me say, we are ready, and we are putting everything in place. From Cape Palmas to Grand Cape, from Roverdale to Grand Bassa County, from Grand Bassa to Lofa County, all across this country, length and breadth of the country, like you listen to the campaign coordinator, we already have over 14,000 poll watchers ready, prepared, trained to be dispersed. All right? And we will do everything to ensure that the votes are protected and will prevent the CDC mischief and shenanigans, machination to rig this election. We will do everything. Now, like Tua said, we have a list of people that they have changed. Why are you changing people in the 11th hour of the process? Those people did their job in Nima. Why the change is taking place only in places where we have dominated the election, that we are popular? This is clear to say to you, they're finding a way to steal the election. All right? That this bunch of broken elements cannot survive, by straightening all of the theory. In government, they continue to demonstrate that they're a bunch of rogues, and everything they do, everything they strive for power for to come and rob this country. All right? Mr. Weah will be shown the exit door because we are ready. And we're not afraid. If you give us reason to stand up, we will stand up. If you want to make the place chaotic, oh man, we have strength, we have energy and dexterity to make this place chaotic, and we'll do that along the lines of the law. We will not sit and allow you and permit you to go in that place and stop the ballots and rob the Liberian people. We will resist you. So we are ready for that. We are ready. All right? I think you have the names, and I think you should name your party names. I'm
coming to do that. But look, before I come to this, let me say this about two individuals in that commission.
Yeah.
Flor Sayon is a commissioner at NEC, and there's another gentleman called Basi Pamba.
Yes.
It is reported that these two individuals are the ones who masterminding leading efforts on the recruitment of loyalists of CDC, that are partisans of CDC, and deploying them in strategic areas. It is reported. I want to say to the two of you, Liberian people, eyes are on you, the two of you. Any attempt in this country to thwart the democratic will of the people of Liberia, the two of you should be held personally responsible in addition to whatever Mr. George Weah is going to be doing. Because if you commissioners will be transparent, you'll be credible enough to preside over an electoral process and allow the democratic will of the masses of the people to be upheld, I'm quite sure there's not going to be any problem.
No.
But when you agree to allow yourself to be financially induced by this government that has basically and literally emptied the central bank of Liberia and just wasting money all over the place, you can go for your own money. But do not tamper with the will of the people of Liberia, because you will be strongly resisted. Now, let me begin with the list of stars in the office of the pro-tem of the Liberian Senate. Pro-tem of the Liberian Senate. There is a gentleman in the pro-tem of the Liberian Senate called Oscar Mane. You journalists go and do your research. I'll give you the full name of that guy, Oscar Mane. Oscar Mane served as presiding officer, PO, for NEC in an area called District Number 1. He is an office staff in the office of the pro-tem of the Liberian Senate. There's also another lady.
And a sedition.
Sedition. Devoted sedition. The guy is a diehard, is unrepentant CDC, a loyalist of the CDC. Catherine Tapler. Catherine Tapler works in the office of the pro tem of the Liberian Senate. She also served as NEC presiding officer in Picnese. Picnese is in Grand Crew. Go and do your research. District number 2 in Picnese, Grand Crew County. She is also a staff in the office of the pro tem. Another lady called Muna Nangbe. Muna Nangbe, of course, I think she's a receptionist in the office of the pro tem. Yeah, many of you here probably could know her. She is one of those who also serve as PO in another place in the same Picnic. Okay, district number 2. There's also another gentleman called Robert. Some Robert. We'll give you a full name later on. That person served as the same PO in Barclayville itself. Barclayville, district number 2. All of those individuals serve or are employed in the office of the pro tem. They are on the salary of the Liberian government, and they are now deployed in Grand Crew. I know you journalists have either listened or interviewed the pro tem the last 2 weeks, and you heard him say to you that Joseph Boakai will not get 1 vote in Grand Crew. When you see him speaking so authoritatively, it's because he knows what he's doing. They know they've already colluded, they've connived, they've conspired to thwart the will of the people. In the story about all people in the Southeast, they not vote for for Joseph Boakai. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. The masses of the people, Southeasterners will know we are conscious-minded enough. Okay? The people over there cannot allow sympathy to exceed their interest. They are that Mr. Let us inform you further that these names I'm going to be calling to you are names of seditionists that have been recruited and are going to be deployed for the round-off election as a NEC temporary staff in Valhun, electoral district number 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ES who served in the first round of the election was changed. The new ES is called Ngobu N. Boakai. He's a Daha sedition, a loyalist of CDC. He's now replacing the gentleman. Probably we'll give a name to you later on. Yeah. But he's the newest ES for the National Elections Commission in this round of election. That's the man they have recruited, and they're going to deploy him in that area. Presiding officers, we have Mountain Kone. Mountain Kone has been recruited. It's a Daha sedition. There's another gentleman called Kamo L. Laluba. He's a PO. Francis A. Pakwa is also going to serve as PO. Augustine M. Fiala is going to serve as PO. Jeremiah Fremont, the same PO. Mountain Kone, PO, that's presiding officer. Of course, you know presiding officer is the head, is the one who supervises other next staff in that particular polling area. You understand? Polling area. Then there's another gentleman called Francis N. Ngujama, PO. Another person called Septimus B. Damba, PO. And Hena M. Sila, another PO. Voter Identification Officers, VRO. Lasana A. Kone. I see all these names we're calling to you are loyalists, are Daha seditions. We have Kenneth M. Selu, Mami Mori, Nelson L. Memfala. Of course, he's a serious and Daha mobilizer for Mr. George Weah for the CDC. He is one of the mobilizers. You know, when you probably some of these names we're calling to you, go and check on our Facebook pages. You see them dooming the CDC regalia. Then we have Khadija A. Kalon. In fact, Khadija A. Kalon is the chairlady for the Daughters of Weah in that particular Valhun area. She's the chairlady, a known and unrepentant sedition. Then we have Afa M. Kone. As if a number of them are drawn from one particular family. Vela family, they all support CDC. So they say, we'll draw you from here and go and serve as POs and VRO. The names continue. We have Bokari E. Jusu, Selu SK Laluba, Mohammed Sharif, Mohammed JS Musa, Abubakar Kamanda. Abubakar Kamanda is the secretary for the Friends of Juliwa Fatuma in Lofa County. He's the secretary. And of course, Juliwa Fatuma contested on the CDC ticket, and won the election there. So she's a diehard Seditian as well. Then we have Junior M. Boaka. Now, the other people are the ballot paper issuer, BPR. Ballot paper issuers, we have Musu Clement, we have Sumo M. Kamara, we have Messi Tamba, we have Vendi Bondi, we have Hawa M. Ngombo. Hawa M. Ngombo is the wife of the election supervisor, okay, the wife of the ES. And then we have Momo S. Bukari. Momo S. Bukari. So below are the names of names that were removed from the original list, in the first round election. It's important. Those that were removed. So this fellow served as VRO. They call Momo A. Kamara. He served as VRO in prison. I think they call the place the Kama Public School. Then we also have Francis M.B. Kamara. The person served as PO in a prison called Bonimbu Public School. Then we have Mary B. Kamara. It's a ballot paper issuer, served in a prison called Bonimbu Public School, of course, the same era. Then we have Fofi G. Laluba, ballot paper issuer, served as in a prison called Seaman Public School. Amara Jusu, ballot paper issuer, in a prison called Nyanyama Public School. And then Septembus M.J. Kamara, the person served as ballot paper issuer in a prison called Bonimbo Public School. So, of course, the list continues here. Vani M. Kamara, P.O., served in a prison called Bonimbo Public School. Morris V. Kamara. And then we have Christian Mambu, it's a BPR, ballot paper issuers. Sanki L. Yakambu, VRO. Agnes J. Boaka, PO. Joseph F. Kamara, VRO. Christopher M.J. Kamara, ballot paper issuer. Then we have Abdullah Tarawale, BPO. Mambu Kamara, VRO. Served in the Vahun era, Vahun Town Hall specifically. Then we have Wata Sida. So the last list I will just call to you were people who serve as a temporary staff in those different areas. But because they did an effective work, CDC does not want them to remain. So they change all of them and replace them with the previous list that we called to you. So this is the disaster. This is the problem that we are encountering. This is the deliberate and intentional undermining of our democratic system by Mr. Weah and few individuals in the National Elections Commission who are doing everything to thwart the democratic will of the people of this country. But again, like Monsieur said to you, the Unity Party, maybe unlike the first round election, if anybody thinks that we will sit in this country and fold our hands and clap for you or share teeth with you while you are undermining deliberately or trying to steal the votes, the will of the people of this country, you will be met with the stiffest of resistance. And if possible, we too, collectively, will run you out of this country. Let's face it. We want to sit down here and allow you to steal the will of the people, and you think you can threaten us and intimidate or harass, because this is what exactly they started. We also want to inform you that our partisans yesterday in Grand Cru were physically assaulted and harassed and intimidated by CDC partisans. So we took them in Grand Cru to go and train our pool watchers. You understand? Because again, like the campaign coordinator indicated to you, the Unity Party is going to heighten its vigilance level to the highest level, not only in the South, but across the Republic of Liberia. Because we know the masses of the people of this country, they are more than resolved. They want to ensure that the democratic will stands. And our leader, the next president of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Nima Boaka, has said this continuously. And we as frontline generals in this process, we will stand with the people. We will ensure that we motivate them to the effect that their votes, their will continue to be protected. So this is the disaster. This is where we are. We are looking forward to having continuous dialogue to ensure that some of these concerns or all of these concerns are effectively and adequately addressed so that we all go to the polls. And it's important for us to reiterate that as a party, the Unity Party will remain more committed, and we reaffirm our support and commitment to the Farmington Declaration, which we signed on April 4th, 2023, to ensure that we participate in a non-violent election. But the CDC continues to tempt us. It's important that we let you know that we are not babies. The UP is mature, but very meticulous in its political process. Because everything we do, we are doing it in the interest of the masses of the people of this country.
So let me chime in this to fellow citizens and the international community. And I'd like to emphasize the international community because I know we cannot even put value or measure the quantum of support they've given to promote democracy, rule of law in our country and the peace substantially. Look, what we are witnessing here is that the NEC, with the acquiescence of the NEC, all right, the CDC has instituted a fraud architecture to rig the election in Nima, in Lofa County, and other places. Now, let me say to you, like Eamon said very, very succinctly to you, we have heightened the vigilance. Our poll watchers will be very radical, and you can find any other description for that. But they will be very radical, and they'll be radical because they want to protect democracy. What CDC is doing with the backing now of that, because when NEC begin to change people in the middle, in the long hour, all right, without any justification, and you're doing the changes in places where we want you bigly, all right, you're doing this because you have criminal intent, you're doing this on a very wicked, vicious purpose, you know, to see whether you can offset our votes in those counties that we won you bigly, and backed by the NEC. It means the NEC, you know, itself has been compromised under the watch. Go very ready, all right. And if you want to cause problem, and let me say, and I speak to you, you know, as an expert in peace. Look, if you begin to sanction irregularities and fraud in the electoral process, you lay the basis to undermine the peace, because those are potential conflict triggers. Sister Director, you have a duty to conduct the affairs of the NEC fairly, professionally. There is a principle in electoral science that says there's no election in the context of democracy if it's not free, fair, transparent, and credible. Now, we're not going to sit there, put our hands and cry like babies. Don't fool you. We're not weaklings. The boys are not smarter than us. They're not stronger than us. They're not radical than us. So if you think you can come and play with people and think to defraud them, all the effort in Lofa, all the attempt to rig election, you know, all the stupid, wretched attempt to kind of shortchange the votes in Lofa, you're wasting your time. We are building the consciousness of our people. We have men already on the ground. And let me re-emphasize the warning to this Robert Saleh board, all right, who is a devout seditious, who have been in public places across Kola and other places, saying that he will resist the Joseph Boakai. Can you imagine the NEC magistrate in the public glare, all right, saying that he will resist, you know, the candidacy of Joseph Boakai? Is that your duty? Is that your work? It just says to you how compromised he is and how devoted he is as a sedition. But we are ready, and we'd like to say to our people all that we want you to do. There will be a lot of things, all right, to make this place governable, to make you scared. Go, cast a vote, remain there. We will be there. We will be there. If you want to make this place, and we will stand to protect democracy. So if causing chaos, making the place chaotic, in the name of protecting democracy, we'll do that. If resisting your mischief, all right, and your criminal and machination, all right, we will do that to protect democracy and protect our votes. So we had the opportunity to run this country. He chose to misgovern the country and mess with the country. He chose to loot the public coffers. He chose to subjugate our people to the abyss of poverty, all right, and misery. The people now have a singular opportunity this time to rescue themselves, to redeem themselves. And that's their uncommon power, which happens to be the vote. They're going to go to the election, to the polling centers, and cast their votes. And we dare anybody, we dare Mr. William, we dare any next person, whether you P or you S or whoever, we dare you and double dare you. When you try it, you put this place in flame. And we're ready. And we'll protect the votes with our blood and our life. I'm done.
Finally, before you come in, look, the leader JNB has said, and it's good for us to emphasize here, Liberians, when you go to the polls on November 14, you finish voting, stick around, remain around your voting area. You too will contribute to protecting your own votes, in addition to the mechanism that we have developed. Look at over the last 2 weeks, gentlemen of the press. Unity Party has received the most significant endorsements.
Yes.
When you add all those figures together, NB literally has won the election.
Absolutely.
We got endorsement from the third placer, endorsement from the fourth placer. Appleton received 40,000 plus votes. The fourth placer, ACO, by the way, His Excellency Lucini Kamara went with our leader, the next president of Liberia in Basel.
Yeah.
They're currently in Basel.
He's going to rally them.
So they're rallying the people on the other side. ICOP received 35,000 plus votes. You understand? The party that took fourth place, the Liberian People Party, LPP, of course, of a respected lawyer, a legal luminary, Councillor Tiawon Gonglo, received 26,000 plus votes. You understand? When you combine all of those, in addition to that, we have received more than, I think, 7 endorsements from other political parties, other than what I've just named to you. In addition to endorsements that we've received from different legislative candidates and the ordinary masses of the people of this country. When you combine all those numbers, Unity Party has won the election, and Mr. Weah is aware of that the people of this country have already rejected him. But their biggest imagination is to thwart the democratic will of the people of this country. But that will be an illusion, because it will be met with the steadiest of resistance. Thank you.
Yes. So thank you very much. I'm Sylvester Chulupe, and I work for Spoon Network. My first question is about your IT specialist who has been reportedly arrested in River G County. Have you discovered as to why he was reportedly arrested, and where is he now? That's my first question. The second question is, you talking about POs being changed by the National Elections Commission. If this continues to happen by the NEC, how are you talking about you will not cooperate? What do you mean that you will not cooperate?
Well, first off, it's important as a party, we are a major electoral stakeholder. And so if there are issues arising from the electoral process, so those issues lead us to do a formal communication, we expect a redress. The truth of the matter is that it's illegal. The Election Commission laws calls for political neutrality. Those who are working as temporary staff of the NEC, it says that they should be politically neutral. So if we found you to be in alignment or associating or a diehard partisan of the CDC, our task is to raise the red flag, which we have done. So we expect that the Election Commission will do the right thing. And that right thing is to weed them out of the system. So if they refuse to weed them out of the system, what do you think we need to do? To sit supinely and fold our arms, fold our legs? We will not do that. So that's why when I talk about cooperation, that's what I'm talking about.
In addition to that, look, elections must be conducted under the cloud of transparency and accountability. The law says so, all right? The Election Commission has a duty by law, all right, to ensure that it conducts election fairly, transparently, and credibly. Now, when one of the parties, all right, establish fraud, irregularities, and attempts to rig the election, and they raise it, all right, and elect the NEC has a duty by law to address, all right, and correct. If it fails to do so, we have the right not to cooperate, all right? We have the right not to cooperate because we represent, all right, a huge portion, a huge quantum of the Liberian population. All right? They look at us. The people say to us, you have to protect our votes. We're not going to go into a process, or we're not going to see a process that is fraught with machinations, with fraud and irregularities, and glaring attempt at regulation, and then we jump inside while raising the flag. Our people hold us responsible. They said that we're intelligent men. Why should we see things wrong and jump in there and go and have to legitimize? We can legitimize fraud. Not to speak about these things, is to legitimize fraud. And we should not legitimize fraud. So we raise these things, and not only with that. Today, before this press conference, the international community has received this correspondence, all right, where we detail all of the irregularities and fraud, and we expect them to reply. And we'll continue to elect the people. All we're saying here to you, we are ready, we are prepared. Now, with respect to the office, I just said to you when I talk about the ECOWAS Free Travel Treaty. The man is a Ghanaian. He has the right to fly to Liberia, fly to Sierra Leone, and in keeping with the law, the treaty, he has the right to be here, to stay here for 90 days. Beyond that, on what basis do you arrest him? The man only went to the Southeast to train our people how to use our phone. What is a violation against the law? What is a violation against the Constitution? The arrest is unlawful, it's foolish, it's irresponsible, it re-emphasizes and confirms what Mark Tuna said, the ambassador on his way here, that this government is very, very lawless and reckless. Correct. You can't go and be running around arresting people unlawfully. I mean, government must be responsible. And that's why we give them all the kind of capitalization we give them, because they are reckless and irresponsible. Why are you arresting the man? You violate the man's rights in keeping with the UN regulations, the UN laws, and UN treaty. You violate the man's rights in keeping with ECOWAS treaty, and even the Liberian law. Every ECOWAS citizen, each of you here, has the right to go to Ghana, visa free, to stay there for 90 days. If you want to initiate any other thing, after 90 days, you can initiate it and make him to do a piece of work. Hire to do a piece of work. Purely. And then you're trying to link into the fraud and trying to link into trying to hack. The next system is not a technological system, it's a manual system. People go and vote and that kind number and write a number on that sheet. You have nothing in place, you have no technological IT system in place. So how does it hack it? How does anyone hack it? So it just said to you, the people don't even know what they're doing. That's why they continue to make go in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, my name is Aisha Neba and I report for KMTV. There is this alleged leaked video parading social media linking the head of the ECC, Mr. Oscar Blow, to be a part of the Unity Party war room. And in the video, he's allegedly been heard discussing issues pertaining to the Unity Party and elections matter. What can the Unity Party say?
Let me jump in there. I am one of the executives of the rescue camp. I do not even know our war room what it is. When I say this, I think this to the effect to tell you how the emphasis of security that is placed on that war room. All right? So I know Oscar Blow to be a gentleman, to be a distinguished lawyer, to be a man who believes in democracy. He's done his job with diligence, with respect. Respect him. We have nothing to do with him. And we think someone like that should do their job, in keeping with law and do their job diligently. So this utter nonsense, this is fake. Now again, all CDC have to continue. It should be able to CDC record. Stop passing around here and throwing all kinds of, shades around and trying to implicate people. Oscar Blow is a good man. Over the years, he's been doing a fantastic, incredible job. And I think, he should be respected. We don't know him. And we don't, like I said, what is he doing there? The guy is quite intelligent to get himself involved with Unity Party tribal.
Yeah, but but besides that, in addition to what you just said, that is political strategizing. There's something called decoy.
Yeah.
That is a decoy. You understand? The CDC knows very well that we have unmasked, we have uncovered their shaded deal, their attempt to steal the votes or the democratic will of the people of this country. So, and we provided you an unrefutable evidence to this effect. Call the names of these individuals. Go and do your research. CDC will yet levy all kinds of groundless allegations in an attempt to distract our focus from the core issues that we have raised. So, as a journalist, don't be distracted by that because it's a decoy. Let's focus on the core issues that we have raised, and we're urging you to go and do further research. Begin now to talk to the different electoral stakeholders about the importance of these issues that we have raised because they've got the potential to undermine the credibility of the November 14 election. And as a journalist, you are a Liberian and you want the best thing out of your country. We want you to do your best to go put the mic to the mouth of stakeholders that have a say in the electoral process. Because again, as a party, we would not sit down to tolerate the people, this government, stealing the votes of the people of this country. So again, we're urging ECOWAS, because they are our partners. We're urging the UN, the AU. We're urging the US Embassy. We're urging all development partners, paying attention to this, especially ECOWAS. Do not wait and issue press release. We want you to make appropriate interventions so that we can avert whatever potential disaster that may likely happen as a result of George. We are attempting to thwart the democratic will of the people of this country, because we will not sit down and tolerate that.
Yes, sir, I'm Gibson from Punch TV. Others are saying you are fearing of defeat on November 14th. That's why you're raising that.
Do we sound like people? Do we sound like people who fear? They are the ones saying we want to hack. So who should be? Ask CDC that question. They said we want to hack. They said we want to regulation. Even though we're not in a position to do that, even though that's not our mentality, even though that's not our philosophy, we are contesting an election. We are based on our record, based on the quality of candidates that we present. Joseph Yumanbeka, a man with stellar public service record, a man who we believe can govern this country to noble heights, a man who has had the opportunity to work in public service. All right, and he served with diligence. All right, so we know we present a far better candidate, as opposed to Mr. Weah, who was given 6 years to be president, and he misruled your country. All right, he failed on his promises. All right, he subjugated the people to socio-economic depravity. All right, our country has lost its respect in the international community. The foreign minister of the country cannot go to America alone, cannot fly anywhere. He's not respected. This is not the Liberia that we knew 12 years ago or 20 years ago that command respect, from his counterpart in the region and other places. Because why? Because we are over the years, all he's been doing this in Buka and singing Lion Man and was the entire studio. So we're not afraid. Looking at us, our eyes are very clear. And we're saying to Mr. Weah, we're saying to Ned, and in our international partner, we're dead and furious that this election we're ready, we're prepared. We have put in place the mechanism to prevent the fraud. But we're not sitting down here for our hands. For anyone to attempt to defraud the Liberian people and defraud our votes, you're wasting your time. We stand up to you. You want to shatter the country peace? It's up to you. You have a duty as a government to protect the peace. If you want to shatter it, oh yeah, we'll be here. But we will not allow you. We'll protect democracy. And we'll protect the people's votes.
My name is Jeff Jefferson. Let me just ask this, sir. Thank you.
Take the final question. Okay.
Jeff Jefferson from Punch of JNB TV Live. There is the election magistrate in Nimba County made some claims on radio today that the reason why they are changing election workers from NEG is because of the lack of education. What constitutes someone to work for NEG? If they have worked on October 10, if they successfully work, like you say, your work, your pool washers and EOs that successfully worked, and what level of education that they exhibit during the first round that NEC workers or magistrates want to replace them, and that those are coming on board to exhibit that level of education.
So you see, it all confirms our suspicion as a party. In the first place, that question should actually go to them. Why are you replacing them in the 11th hour? If you knew that they did not do good job, immediately after the first round election, at least do some public service announcement.
Absolutely.
Because this is a delicate matter. You cannot do anything around that perimeter without the knowledge or the acquiescence of other stakeholders of the Unity Party. But the 11th hour, we got about 3-4 days to the runoff elections. You now go about changing people, and you think we will listen to that groundless justification? So are you suggesting to other ghetto people from the streets here and there and make them POs? Is that what they're suggesting? That is not the justification. The real justification is that reportedly, Basi Pamba and Flor Sion, these commissioners and other elements in the NEC, they are the ones who recruiting the CDC folks, colluding with hierarchies of the CDC to recruit loyalists of the CDC and set to serve as temporary net staff in order to do ballot stuffing. Because Mr. Weah is aware that my colleague indicated to you. George Weah is aware he's not going to win the will of the people of this country. He's not that. He has been literally defeated. He's been removed democratically. We are only going for the ceremony on November 14, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, but they want to do all they can. But in all the imaginations, you understand, mechanism, which will be resisted to steal the will of the people of this country. And that's exactly what they're doing. We also told that Mr. Weah did not only meet with Rabba Selig, but he's met with other magistrates across the country. You understand? And they dish out huge sum of money to them. Some of them have agreed that they will do what George Weah wants them to do, and a few of them have said, no, we are patriots, and no amount of money can allow us to go against the will of the people of this country. So, because we've gotten those intelligence, the Nima County guy over there, and the gentleman, he's not a gentleman, KBB, the guy, I'm not sure he's that, he's a gentleman. The guy in Lofa, you know, is the one who's leading, encouraging other individuals because he is compromised. He's compromised, he's corrupt, inherently corrupt. And that is the fact. So we have written the NEC to ensure that that guy recused himself before the run of election.
Let me close by saying to you that Mr. Weah has been doing everything desperately to rig the election. The EU issued a statement where they highlighted the unspecified amount of illegal, money, was infused in the electoral process, contrary or in violation of the electoral laws. He moved from there, he go to hold meetings with magistrates and induce them, all right, have them compromise to manipulate the process in favor of the CDC. It tells you quite clearly that CDC is unpopular. CDC cannot win the will of the Liberian people. They lost in the first round, all right? And we know that because there were lapses in remoter places and other places, they capitalized on that to stuff the ballots, they alter the numbers, and of course, roguish, corrupt magistrates and workers connived and colluded with them. That will not happen anymore. Bye-bye to that thievery. Bye-bye to that mischievous attitude. We are ready. We are prepared. We will be in the polling centers. Our people will be very aggressive. I mean very aggressive. And let me apologize on their behalf. They will do so in the name of democracy. They will do so to protect the Liberian people's votes. We're not sending boys, men and women. We're sending ideological people. We're sending revolutionaries to mend the votes of the Liberian people. Mr. Weah is out. He will be shown the exit door through the ballot box and will protect the Liberian people's votes. Gentlemen, I want to say thank you
for coming.
and salute to our people.